So this is the overview of the Ken's Props 3D printed slide and barrel. Um, you can get this on Sculptico. I think that's how you say it. For I think it's 65 for the slide and the outer barrel. But yeah, this is just gonna be an overview of it slightly. I have played one game with this, and I'll get to a problem that I've encountered, and then if it is a drop-in or anything. So first, it is more or less a drop-in in the cam slide. For the blowback housing, the screw right in there, the hole is too small, so you have to kind of take the screw and just screw it in. Make sure you align the blowback housing threads to get the screw to be able to go in there. As for the barrel, I can do this. Barrel, it is also more or less a drop-in. There is, I guess you could say, some fitting required. The actual inner diameter of it was too short, so the barrel would not fit in without jamming it in there, which it is possible. I don't know if it's that good, so I might have installed it bad. So you might want to take like a whatever kind of similar size barrel, or even just a used barrel or something for even an AEG, and just slide it in there. And it's really tight fit, but if you do it a couple times, it will shave off a little bit. You can see some of the red material kind of flake off, and then around the hop-up unit there's some red material, which that should probably be cleaned up and stuff. I just haven't really done anything, and as you can see, it's in there. Yeah, I need to clean that. Other than that, the front sight post is a drop-in. It is hard for the stock Tokyo Marui. It is hard to kind of push in there. You just really have to slide it in, push on it hard, and then it's in there. And so far for one game, it's stayed like that. It feels good, light. As for the slide, so the blowback housing, it is a slightly tight fit on the frame when you first get it, but after hand racking it a couple times, it should loosen up a little bit, or maybe not a couple times, but if you like hand rack it for, oh gosh, like say 10 minutes maybe, or even less, or just like play around with it kind of, it then gets a lot smoother. One thing is the outer barrel does fit in it perfectly. There's no modification for that. The blowback housing, as I said, it has that. It just dropped in. Mine, it didn't at first. Let me adjust this. It didn't correctly seat. It was too far forward, kind of, so it wasn't like the one metal piece that there was pushed in, so there was kind of not really a gap, but if you looked at it this way, it wouldn't be flush. So I tried tightening the screw up, and that did help making it more flush. It still isn't perfect, and then same as for there, but it is, the screw isn't fully set in, doesn't seem like, but the blue plastic is pretty much set in there, so from what I remember from my stock TM slide. Anything else? The loading nozzle, right now I have, I think this is a Wii spring or what, loading nozzle spring, I think that's what they call it, and it does work. fine. It isn't that sticky. You do, for installing it, taking apart your gun stuff, I would recommend that you clean, before messing with the slide and stuff, clean your gun a little bit, and then when you are putting it together, to make sure you have clean hands, or relatively clean from being slightly dirty and oily from your gun, since it will it will turn the plastic, or at least the blue, slightly darker instead of this, if you can see. So there's like really blue and then slightly darker. But that's that. As for the rear sight, this is a stock TM also, stock everything. It was also more or less a drop in. It doesn't seem to correctly, there's a gap in between there a little bit, and it is not super loose, but it definitely has some wiggle. Side to side, not much. Up and down a little bit. Like you feel like kind of rip it. As for the markings, really nice. I'm very impressed by how detailed and like the filament, or from my knowledge. SAI, really nice. Salient marking, it is, if you see kind of like it's not, the color isn't correct, that's because of like kind of the oil, the black residue or whatever from the oil of the gun that kind of messed with the blue. Cuts are very nice. Slide lock, it seems to be nice. As for outer barrel, also really nice. Clear markings. But yeah, now, for this, I do have one slight complaint, is that this material, it actually absorbs murder lube, I think. Murder oil, or at least the medium, so it probably absorbs lubrication of your gun, any kind of oil or whatever. And since I've lubricated like the slide and all that, and then after about, it'll be good, and I'll hand rake, and then like I'll get some excess, and then I'll wipe that off. And then after about a week, I will take it apart, since it starts to feel like, just when I hand rake and just playing around with it, it starts to feel not as smooth, and I'll take it apart, and there's absolutely no oil on there generally. There's some slight, so yeah. As for the frame fitment, if you get a brand new TM frame, it might have some problems, but if you use your TM for 1,000 rounds or so, on either, probably about 1,500 rounds or so on duster, or a little bit more, and then like 500 rounds on propane, it should be fine, since it'll get kind of the paint off. It has worn down my frame slightly more, I think. Also, I am using propane, but it doesn't seem to, I don't think it has. One thing is that I do not know is that if you keep oiling it and stuff, and when the material absorbs the oil, will it change the color? I have not known that, I haven't done any testing or done it that much, but there is like some black, if you can see there, yeah, but that isn't necessarily the oil. That could be part of the oil and frame and stuff, so I'm not for sure. As for the slide lightness and everything, great. As for the feel, let me put it back together. Let's just go in here, yeah, like that. And also, I would not recommend like doing this, or, well, if you want to keep the color. Also, for the black, And this is dyed, by the way. I chose the dyed option, not the painted option, or I guess like the blue plastic, which is he doesn't even have that. He has white plastic and then black plastic, which I guess those aren't good, or at least the black isn't. Oh yeah, as for the frame, I did notice there is some particles of red that get, let's see if I can, that get like that look like got shaved off there down here. That could be from either my ghetto putting the barrel, just shoving it into the outer barrel, and like kind of flicking off, or it could be that there's just one part that was kind of too thick and just kind of rubbed in and stuff. But other than that, as for the blue plastic, I have not seen any of that, any small specks on here or anything. But yeah, the smoothness is pretty good. This isn't oiled, so, well, besides for, yeah, it's pretty much not lubricated at all, so it's pretty good. You can see that, but yeah, it's pretty good. I would not, if you are going to be using this, I would not, when the slide locks back, I would not do that, since that will definitely wear this down more. I would do it that way. But yeah, I will test shoot it, and then well, actually, I guess I should probably get to my one complaint, since if I test shoot it might break and stuff. My one complaint, after I've put about 150 rounds or so through it, some dry firing, but only about like 2 megs, and then the rest, well, actually I've put probably around 200 rounds, about 2 megs of dry firing, and then the rest actually using it at a field. And my one complaint is, and I don't know if I installed the blowback unit wrong, or the Sculptico, the material, like the manufacturing, screwed off, or it's literally the design, is that there is a crack starting to form. I guess I should have probably took that off. If you can see, that white line is a crack, and at first I was like, oh, is that a crack or not? And then it just kind of looked like it might have been what was it, I can't think. That might have just been like a scratch or something on the paint or dyed material or whatever. And then today I was looking, and I guess I should probably take this off again, and it is indeed a crack, which is very disappointing for the price of this. Where is it? It's, let's see. So it's right there, as you can see. Oh yeah, that's bad, and it forms all the way up here. I do not know if it has gone all the way. It doesn't look like it from this side, from where it should start cracking, which is right there. But that is extremely disappointing. It could just be a lemon. It could be that this material just won't take green gas at all. Even though Ken said, he said that he's test his slides personally and like gone through 5,000 rounds on propane, and has had nothing like that. And to have this break on 150 rounds of propane is just depressing. To give you an example, well, my TM slide's in this box, so I guess I won't get it out, but my TM slide, stock plastic slide, lasted for about 1,000 rounds on propane, plus, well, actually, I used it for about 1,500 rounds on duster, and then I switched to propane, and I used it about close to 1,000 rounds, or maybe a little, or exactly 1,000 rounds, and that did not break until recently. That's why I got this, and it broke. Actually, this piece right here at the site, it formed a crack in this piece, so it couldn't hold that, and then also on the other side, it formed a crack. This side actually blew off, and then this side just has almost a full crack, but hasn't. But it would still work. The nozzle spring got screwed up, but you could take that out and it would still function for my very limited test of just dry fire. Well, actually shooting it in my house. Don't ask me about that. So to have a 3D printed slide that cost, what is this? I think you can get it for, is it 30? But yeah, I think it's about $30 for the slide itself, and then because of this, it's you have to get that. $30 and to have it break on 150 rounds, or at least have it crack, it's kind of like, why? Since it's $65 for both the slide and the barrel, and at that price, just for I think what, $20, $30 more, you can buy a full metal slide by Airsoft Masterpiece, I think. I forgot the name. So that is just, I mean, this might be a lemon, so hopefully it is. I'm hoping it is. I don't know really what I'm going to do about this. I think I'll just run it until it breaks, which is probably going to be really soon. I was planning on buying his TMP226 slide, SAI slide, that I guess he recently put back on his thing, which now might be off because whoever's viewing this. And I would love to get that once my 226 slide breaks, but after seeing this, I don't know. I mean, it's just, I mean, to give you an example, I can get, I think from Cloud Airsoft, he has stock TM plastic high Capa slides for, I think, $15 or $10. So for the price of this, for even just the price of, say, the slide, since you can get different models of slide, you could get at least 2 TM stock slides, which will last you more than this. Now, obviously, this might be a lemon, but, I mean, that is depressing. So yeah, enough rambling, onto the shooting test, or dry firing. This is a Wii high Capa mag with no BBs, on propane. I don't know how much propane I have. There is no BB in the chamber, or it shouldn't be. Let me double check. Yep, no BB in the chamber. And dry firing. And now, if you see on camera, it's actually a little bit slower since the frame rate, possibly, but I guess muzzle kick. And this is a stock everything. But yeah, and actually I can see that now the crack's getting worse. You can actually see it. So yeah. But this is a TM mag. What the? Oh yeah, and then also I also was experiencing problems with this, which I think it's actually the slide cracking, and oh my Jesus. Yeah. That is not good. So that's probably the reason why it's having problems. But yeah, that is a disappointment. Why is it? Yeah, it's getting worse by the second. Yeah, that is. Why does it not? Yeah, so but yeah, so I was having that problem towards the end of the gameplay during the time I used it, and so that's the problem. But yeah, that is just. Let's try this side. Obviously, I'll try the Wii Mag. Maybe that works better, or it might just be done by now. Oh, yeah, I forgot. This Wii Mag's out of practice. Let me bring in my another Wii Mag. And this is not short-stroked. When I did test it with my homemade short-stroke thing, just slightly short-stroked, it was really crisp on the trigger. Just I'm not a super pistol nut, so just on the return, it just felt really crazy. I didn't even short-stroke it that much. But. But yeah, that is just, I mean, it's gotten even worse. Although it seems, it's kind of weird though. The Wii Mag, or the two Wii Mags, were fine and it didn't have that problem of pulling back. But as soon as I throw in the high Capa Mag, or no, not the high Capa Mag, the TM Mag, it has that problem. So I don't know. And this is a stock high TM Mag. I don't know if somehow these have more, like, something different about them. I don't know that much, but that is weird. So it could have been because of using this, but at the same time, I wouldn't think that a Wii Mag versus a TM would make much difference, or have enough PSI to difference to make it crack like that. I mean, I could see how, yeah, if you use a Wii, it will last longer, but maybe like only by 100 or 150 rounds. Not this. This is just, yeah. I mean, that is, yeah. So thank you for looking at this, and yeah.